Self-contradictions of the KJV Bible 15, 16, 17, and 18 in this series right here. Were plants created before or after humans? Plants were created before humans. In the first creation account, and God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so, and the evening and the morning were the third day, Genesis 1, 11 through 13. So God created man in his own image, in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day, Genesis 1, 27 through 31. In contradiction to, plants are created after humans. In the second account, God formed a man before any plants existed. It hadn't rained yet, and there was no man to till the ground. Sometime later, God created plants to please and feed man. These are the generation of the heavens and of the earth, and every plant of the field it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. Genesis 2, 4 through 7. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, and the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Genesis 2, 8 through 9. The next self-contradiction, number 16. Were humans created before or after the other animals? After the other animals. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind. And God said, "Let us make man." So God created man in his own image. Genesis 1, 25 through 27. In contradiction to, before the other animals. The Lord God said, "It is not good that man should be alone. I will make a help meet for him." And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. Genesis 2, 18 through 19. It's number 17, self-contradiction of the Bible. Did God originally create humans, male and female? Yes. He, made them at the beginning, made them male and female. Matthew 19:4. God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. Genesis 1:27. In contradiction to, no. God created a man first, then animals, and then a woman. The Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. Genesis 2:7. And the Lord God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him." Out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam. But for Adam there was not found an help meet for him. Genesis 2, 18 through 20. The Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. Genesis 2, 21 through 22. Number 18, self-contradiction of the KJV Bible. Is marriage a good thing? Yes, it is good to be married. God said it wasn't good for Adam to be alone, so he created the animals, hoping that Adam would find a helpmeet spouse among them. When none was satisfied, God went to plan B by making a woman, Eve, out of Adam's rib. And the Lord God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him." Out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought him unto Adam. But for Adam there was not found an help meet for him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had made man from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." Genesis 2, 18 through 24. In a possible endorsement of marriage, Jesus quoted the above passage from Genesis. Let's see what he said later in the same chapter. Matthew 19:10 through 12 quoted below, saying that it is better not to marry. "For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife." Matthew 19:5. There are a few other verses in the Bible that speak well of marriage. "Whoso findeth A wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord. Proverbs 18:22. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest. Ecclesiastes 9:9. Marriage is honorable in all. Hebrews 13:4. 1 Timothy says that a bishop must be blameless, husband of one wife, so it must be okay to marry, although if you are a bishop, you can only have one wife. Non-bishops presumably may have more than one wife. If any be blameless, the husband of one wife, ellipsis mark, for a bishop must be blameless. Titus 1:6-7. And when the world is about to end, seducing spirits and devilish doctrines will forbid people to marry. The latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, ellipsis mark, forbidding to marry. 1 Timothy 14:1-3. In contradiction to "No, it's better not to marry," Paul thought it was better for Christians not to marry. It is good for a man not to touch a woman. 1 Corinthians 7:1. For I would that all men were even as I myself, unmarried, in brackets, ellipsis mark. It is good for them if they abide even as I. 1 Corinthians 7:7. And so did Jesus, who said that those who are worthy of heaven don't marry. The children of this world marry and are given in marriage, but they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world and the resurrection from the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage. Luke 20:34-35. And when his disciples said that if divorce is not an option, it is better not to marry, Jesus has agreed, saying, all men cannot receive this saying save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs, as are people that are born without their normal body parts, or that are made that way, which were so born from their mother's womb. And there are some eunuchs which are made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. Matthew 19:10-12.